Did you enjoy yourself this weekend? Yeah! All right, so I want you to pull out a blank piece of paper. All right, hold it up when you pull it out. I want to see it. Blank piece of paper. All right, come on quickly. There you go, there you go. Now, I want you to draw a circle on that blank piece of paper. We all know what a circle looks like, right? Draw a circle. Should take you 1 second. Okay? Got a circle? Now, anywhere on that page, I want you to put a dot. I want you to put a dot. So how many of you put the dot in the center of the circle? Okay. How many of you put the dot not in the center, but somewhere inside of the circle? Raise your hands. Okay. How many of you put the dot outside of the circle? Okay. How many of you took the page, turned it over upside down, and put the dot on the opposite side? Exactly. That circle represents your paradigms. What you personally believe is possible for your life. Now, many of us, what we'll do is we'll understand what limitations we have, even if they're not real, they're just real to us. And we'll stay right in the center. We'll stay right in the center. We're not going to explore the edges. Now, some people, they'll move from outside of the center and they'll go out towards those edges, right? And then some people, they'll go just outside of it, but they'll stay close to it because there's some comfort in that area. But very few people will completely just break through the paradigm and look at what is possible. Are you following me? And why is that important? Because your belief system, what you believe is possible, completely dictates what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. See, it's completely different to know something is possible for somebody else or to get it intellectually. You hear people talk about how you can make money on the internet, how you can start your own business, and how you can do all these things, and you kind of get it up here because you see other people are doing it. But if you don't get it for yourself, what is that going to mean? If in the big scheme of things, it's like, oh my gosh, this stuff is awesome, it can happen, you can do all these great things. But when it comes down to you, wait a second. You don't really fully believe it's possible. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Now, everybody in here has a vision, right? We have this vision of the future, right? This is our vision of the future. This thing that we're moving towards. And here you are, right here, right? That's you. Right there, and this is where you're looking to go. You have this vision, this future that you want to move towards. Right? That's one reason why you're in this room. Right? That's one reason why you're here. Because you have these ideas that you want to move towards. But let me tell you something. After working with a ton of people, I became confused, perplexed, pissed, frustrated, concerned, all these things. And the reason why is because I've seen people take great opportunities and squander them. I've seen people have the opportunity to completely transform their lives and not do anything. Are you following me? Let me ask you this. How many of you in this room, this is your absolute 100% first seminar and exposure to internet marketing? Raise your hands. Okay. How many of you, this is not your first seminar? Raise your hands. Okay. How many of you who just raised your hand know there's things you could have done prior to coming to this event to transform your business, grow your business, and you have not done them? Raise your hands. Right. For those who didn't raise your hands, shame on you for lying. Right? Because we know that that's not true. We know, listen, we all do that. But here's the question I had. Why does that happen? Why is it, hey, everybody wants to grow this big business, right? And it's not for the big business sake, but it's because of what this big business is going to bring us. So in my mind, I'm saying, why in the world is it people don't do these things they're supposed to do to change their lives, whether it's personally, professionally, socially? And trying to figure this out, I actually went to people that I work with to try to apply it and give them the model to see if it would make sense to them and see if it not only made sense, but if they operated within this model, would they be able to start getting the results that they wanted to get? And I found out it is 100% true. So one of the first things that I found out is that, and you can kind of draw this if you want to kind of work with me on this. One of the first things that I found out was that for every single person that wants to succeed, we have knowledge, right? We have desire, and we have skills, right? Now with knowledge is available everywhere. Isn't it true? It's all over the place. So I'm like, okay, knowledge is important. How many of you agree knowledge is important? Right, so I looked at knowledge, and knowledge is something that we would say, we would call it what to, like what to do, right, and why to. All right, so what to do and why to do it. Because I look at knowledge as being two different things, what's going on and why it's going on. Right, you can know what's happening, but I think you're in a more powerful position if you know why it's happening, right? So looking at this, I'm like, okay, great. You know, knowledge is important. We know knowledge isn't everything, but my big question became, why in the world do people accumulate all this knowledge, but they never use it, but yet they'll pay to get more and more and more of it? More stuff they're not going to use, right? They just go and they buy more courses, go to more seminars, get on more teleseminars, want to get more coaching, all this other stuff, but there's no application. There's no application of it. So, in looking at this, desire is why to and want to. Why to and want to. And I figured it out that, you know what, you can accumulate all the knowledge in the world. All the knowledge in the world, but if you don't have the desire to do anything with it, what's going to happen to it? What's going to happen to it? If you find yourself in the position and you're saying stuff like, you know, my gosh, I got to do this stuff to grow my business, bad position. Because that doesn't mean you want to do it. You're kind of in the position that you've got to do it. And if you feel as if you've got to do something, and you feel as if there's forces forcing you to do something that you don't want to do, how do we respond to that? Resistance. Now, how do you feel about things that you want to do? Isn't that different? So here's the thing. With skills is how to. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, there's a huge gap, right? There's this huge gap and there's a skill gap. And the reason you have all this stuff that you build up here intellectually, right? You get it, you get all these courses, CDs, DVDs, you go to all these seminars, you get all this stuff. But if you don't have the desire to fully implement and execute on it, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Are you going to use it? I don't care how great it is, right? I don't care how empowering it is. I don't care how motivating it is. It doesn't matter. You're just not going to do anything with it because the desire isn't there. And listen, I found out, let me tell you something. Procrastination exists because of lack of desire. That is it. We never, ever procrastinate on anything that we feel is significant and important to us. Do it. Do we ever? Absolutely not. So if you're procrastinating on things, trust me, it is completely a desire issue. It is a 100% desire issue. So I looked at that, I'm like, you know what? People accumulate what to do and why to do it and all this kind of stuff that's going to be cool in their business, but they don't implement it. There's just no strong desire there. So for many of you, you know, becoming successful is just a great idea. It would be nice to have. But like one of my mentors told me, desire is to want something, but passion is the refusal to live without it. So you have to take this desire and turn that into passion for whatever it is. But let me ask you this, a computer that has the best hardware, what happens if the software gets screwed up? A problem, right? You have all this money invested in the hardware, but if the software gets screwed up, what happens? Are you gonna be able to use that hardware? So I thought about that and I said, you know what? Every single person in there is hardware. Every single one of you are hardware. And you have what I call selfware.